Dolly, welcome to the West End.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. This has been a big, exciting week for me, getting a chance to come over here and see their 9 to 5 musical at the Savoy, and I'm so excited.
It's very posh. The last time I saw you was in Nashville, so it's quite a change of scenery, but obviously a really big deal, a passion project for you. This is a musical which has obviously been around in some way or another since about 2008, but now it's reimagined, isn't it,
yes,
for 2019?
the musical. But we're going back to when the 9 to 5, the
course.
movie, it's like 40-some years ago. It's like all of this stuff, and then when the Broadway musical, and then we toured America for a while with it. And now with the new MeToo movement, you know, the new, the latest one, they decided this would be a good time to bring this back to life. So I'm excited about that. Wrote a couple of new things for it, and so I can't wait to see the whole thing.
And it's so interesting, isn't it? Because, as you say, the original movie, 1980, and it really was about female empowerment decades before the Me Too movement would really change workplace relations, I guess. You were at the forefront of it all those years ago.
Well, actually, Jane Fonda, there was an organization called 9 to 5, and I guess it was about that, and Jane Fonda, as one of the producers of that show, she had searched that out, and it was a really good idea, and it was very timely at the time to do it, and so it really did a lot of good, and we made a lot of progress as women. I think it really threw the light on a lot of things that needed to be looked at, and so I think it did a lot of good, but of course, as always, there's always more to be done. So I think this has kind of brought a new, new light, on some things that still need to be done, like the equal pay for equal work and harassment in the workplace and all that stuff. So it's good, but it's also, the show's very entertaining. It's not just about political issues. It's very fun, but it does make good points, and it's done well for good reason. But it's a very exciting, and all the cast, they're such wonderful singers and dancers, and they were from Broadway on, from the movie to the Broadway, and then traveling around America. And hopefully, if this does well here, they'll be showing it around different places. Yeah, it may go back to Broadway, who knows?
On a personal level, though, you were actually always very, very confident in tackling some of those sexual harassment type situations. I mean, you spoke a couple of years ago about the fact one man who tried it on inappropriately with you, you got out a gun. So you were taking no nonsense, Dolly.
Well, now, I'm luckier than a lot of women, because I grew up a country girl. I grew up with all my boy cousins and all my 6 brothers and my dad and my uncles, and I loved them. We were, it's like I've just known every kind of personality. So everybody I meet, I see somebody in my family, and like I've said, I'm like Will Rogers. I never met a man I didn't like. I've just met some I like more than others. but I just, like I said at the Music Cares thing, it's like I've never met a man I didn't like, but I've never met one I couldn't kick his ass if he didn't treat me with the respect he should. And
absolutely. And that is the message, isn't it?
But I think so too. I think, like I say, this is all, a lot of women are not respected as it should be, but a lot of women are not respecting themselves to the degree that they should. So we need to be mindful as women. We've got our opportunities and good chances, and a lot of wonderful things are happening to us, but we need to be mindful of who we are as well. And I never thought of it in terms of being a girl or a boy. I was just a person that wrote. I like to sing, and I just went to Nashville with a big dream, and I wasn't thinking about, oh, girls ain't getting a chance. I just thought, well, I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to hopefully make a change, and I've been lucky. But I've been writing songs about women from day one, early on in my career, a song that was on the charts in South Africa for years, called Just Because I'm a Woman, for all those women that weren't allowed to be themselves, and they loved the song. And I wasn't doing it for any reason other than it coming from a place in me to just my journey, my progress, and my thoughts and my feelings. So I've lived my femininity, and it just, you live by example, and hopefully it's worked for some, And I'm glad that I've been a good example.
And it's a great message, isn't it? We can do this together,
We can
men
do
and
it
women.
together.
It doesn't have to be us or them, which is
No,
what
it
I
don't.
love.
But I mean, I think it's wonderful that women are getting a lot of
Yeah.
chances. And they say, you know, it's like when they say there's not that many women in country music anymore, whatever. But I think that, you know, there's place for them. I really believe that, you know, we just need to try harder and work with it. Just like my last album with The Dumpling, I worked with Linda
I
Perry.
love
The
it so
first time
much.
I'd ever worked, though, with a female producer.
Yeah.
And so I never, and it was also, the film was directed by a female. It was not planned that way. They weren't doing it to make that point. And there was a lot of women in the production, so it turned out to be, and with Jennifer Aniston and with the girl who played Dumpling, it was great. It just happened to be a whole bunch of women, and it turned out to be beautiful and great.
I love Dumpling
Yeah.
so much. Incredible movie, brilliant, brilliant soundtrack. Now, just coming back to 9 to 5, the musical, we're very excited on our show because Amber Davies, who is one of our regulars on the show, obviously came from this reality show, Love Island, Dolly, making her very unexpected West End debut. So I have to ask, had you heard of Love Island when you cast Amber Davies in the role?
She came to Nashville, and I got to interview her when I was there filming my parts for the show. She came over, and so I actually worked with her today, just before you came in.
I saw her, yeah.
She came in and we did another interview, but she's precious and beautiful. And so they say she's incredible in
Yeah.
the show, and I cannot wait to see the whole thing. I have not been here to help work with the show,
Yeah.
and I have not met all the cast, because Jeffrey Calhoun, who's directing it, a longtime friend of mine, was in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas movie. He was one of the Aggie boys, and so as luck would have it, here we are, you know, working
Together
again
all these years
together.
on.
And Pat Resnick, who wrote the book, you know, I've known her for years. She wrote the original
Yeah.
9 to 5 movie, and some other things that she's worked on since then. But anyway, so it's just great to see Amber and all this wonderful, you know, cast. I can't wait to see them.
Well, Amber told me that she had told you about Love Island. You were quite interested in the concept, Dolly, of a whole load of single people going on an island to find love. What do you make of it?
Oh, I mean, I'm the one that had islands in the stream. That is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? But I'm sure that was a little bit different than my islands in the stream.
Yeah, it was
But
a little
that's
bit more raunchy.
I know. Well, you know, a lot of those shows are raunchy. I mean, I don't know how some of those shows, you know, where they even come up with the ideas of all that. But anyway, I'll stick
Absolutely.
with my islands in the stream.
Absolutely. I think it's much nicer
safer.
there, to
I'm
be
safer
honest.
there.
You really are.
Kenny Rogers is safer for me.
You are. Now, an incredible Grammys performance last week. Congratulations.
Thank
It
you.
was brilliant to see you bring all of these female power vocalists together doing justice to your songs. But I guess one more special member for you, Miley Cyrus. And she said recently, Dolly, that you don't like being called godmother. You like being called her fairy godmother.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Because I haven't like lived up to that whole the godmother thing, but I was always her fairy godmother. But I love Molly. Molly is so talented and so sweet, and I've known her since she was a baby. And her dad and I are very close, and her mom. So it was a big night for her. She said she looked out in the audience and saw me, her mom and dad. You know, she said, I was just thinking, that's my whole life right there. It's like the three of them have just, but she's so gifted, and I love getting to work with her anytime I can.
And now married to Liam Hemsworth.
Yes, they just got married, and she sent me all the pictures from the wedding. She has a big picture of me over her mantle, and all their
Amazing.
wedding pictures. She said, see, you were at my wedding.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, Dolly, is it true that you wake up at 3 a.m. every morning?
Well,
Can that really be?
I'm always awake by 3 o'clock every morning. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
I'm up and down. I don't require a lot of sleep. I'm one of those people that I sleep like maybe 3 hours. I'll get up and do something, maybe lay down and read myself back to sleep. But I'm always up and working.
And
by
I
3
mean,
o'clock.
I can't get my head around it. You're 73 now. You look
37.
incredible.
I flipped it around.
That's the best way to be. And so can you give any insight into your routine? I mean, how do you, with so little sleep, still look so incredible? Do you have a routine that you go through every morning?
Well, I do my routine, but it's not about my physical self. It's more about my spiritual self. I
Okay.
wake up and do my spiritual work and my scriptures and do my little affirmations and do, you know, whatever my a lot of my creative time. I write a lot of songs in the wee hours because to me that's kind of like my God time.
Yeah.
And so I just love the morning. I just love to get up when everybody else is asleep. Everybody's energies died down, and I just feel there's a calmness that I feel like I can communicate better with the powers that be.
I love
you know,
that.
when things are kind of quiet.
And you are busier than ever, in fairness. The Dolly empire is growing, which is quite incredible. You have Dumpling, now talk of a sequel, obviously. You've got your own Netflix series starting up. The music is still important to you, and Dollywood is getting bigger.
No, it is. We got a lot of wonderful things going on. But I wake up with new dreams every day. I have to be responsible for the one that I've seen come true. You know, I always say, you know, you want them to come true, you got to actually still work those as well. So I'm hoping I've still got a lot of new dreams. I want to start my own line of makeup, hair,
That's a great
wigs,
idea.
and all sorts of things, my brand with all those kind of things. So I've got a lot to do. So I just I think energy keeps me alive and keeps me younger.
And your husband, you've done it with the support of him too along the way, haven't
Well,
you?
my husband is great. We've been married 53 years this coming May, and he's always been out of the limelight. He loves to stay home, and I love to stay gone, and that's why we've lasted so long.
So Dolly, I absolutely love your playlist on Apple Music, right? What Would Dolly Do? Which has some of the greatest artists of your generation and some more modern artists as well, people like Shania Twain in there as well. So I thought today, I've dressed for it. I've got my What Would Dolly Do t-shirt.
I love
and
that.
I wanted to play a little bit of a game, okay? What would Dolly do? So on one side you've got Dolly Wouldn't, on one side you've got Dolly Would. And so can I challenge you, Dolly? What would Dolly do? Would you ever wear a pair of flat shoes? Dolly wouldn't. Would you ever move to the UK? Maybe. I like that. Would you ever join the Spice Girls, Dolly? Because you know they're looking for another member for their tour. Oh, that's a shame. You'd be
Well,
great.
I can't dance, and I ain't that pretty.
They do a lot of
I
good
ain't that good
dancing.
shape.
Would you ever leave the house without makeup? Good
Not
call.
unless my husband was dying, and I'd have to think about that.
Would you ever change the colour of your hair? No way.
Well, I would for a movie.
Yeah. But not in,
But not for me.
Not in real life. IRL, as they say. Would you ever go vegan? Good. I wouldn't either.
No, I'm a hog. I love everything. I love meat.
Would you ever host the Oscars?
No, because I'm not that smart. I don't know that much about.
Oh, they need
the
you this
people.
year, Dolly. They would need you. And finally, would Dolly ever retire?
No.
Yes.
What would I do without? I mean, no.
That's what I like to hear. Dolly, you
and
are
would
an
I ever
inspiration.
spank you with this? Dolly would. Get
Yes, let's do it.
up there. Okay.
Dolly, do you know what? You're an inspiration. You're a total legend. It's so amazing to have you here. And of course, 9 to 5 on the West End at the Savoy Theatre. I'm so excited to see
Well,
it.
come see us.
Oh, I will. I
All
will.
right. All
Thank
right.
you, Dolly.